Welcome to Little John's Yarns. Today, we're going to learn how to make this crochet crop top that you can wear with a strapless bra. You can make it as long or as short as you like. So if you like this video, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and we'll hop right into it. Today, we're going to be using a 4mm crochet hook. And also, I'm using some worsted weight yarn, Caron Simply Soft, in the color Grape Raisin. This top would also work great in a cotton yarn, but since I make so many patterns, I'm just using the yarn that I have in my stash. And also, if you find this video moves too fast, there's a little gear button in the lower right hand corner of your screen. You can click that and find the speed that moves more to your liking. Okay, we'll begin by making a slip knot. We are going to chain 16. 1, 2, 3. You can pause the video here and I'll meet you at the end of your 16 chains. We've completed our 16 stitches. And now we're going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So 1, 2. Begin your single crochet. We're going to continue placing single crochets in each one of your chain stitches. You can pause your video here and continue placing single crochets until you make it to the very last chain stitch. I'll meet you there. Okay, we both made it back to the very last chain stitch. Now let's put 3 single crochets into this very last chain stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, in your middle single crochet, we are going to place a marker. And I just used a random piece of waste yarn. This will be considered our very top stitch. So we'll need to know this marking for the very next row. Now we're going to work down the bottom side of your chain. We're going to put single crochets alongside the bottom. It'll be a total of 14 single crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, you can pause your video here. Continue placing single crochets all the way down to the very end. I'll meet you there. Okay, we've made it back to the other end. And now we are going to chain 1 for your next row. Turn your work. This chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We're going to half double crochet in the same space and half double crochet into the next. We're going to continue placing half double crochets all the way up the side of your work until you make it to your stitch marker. So pause your video here and place 1 half double crochet in each stitch until you make it to the stitch marker. I'll meet you there. Okay, we've made it to the stitch marker, so let's remove this. And in that space, we're going to place 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3 half double crochets. And just like before, in your second stitch, half double crochet, we're going to place a stitch marker. And this will be the new top of your cup. Okay, now we're going to continue placing half double crochets to the next stitch. And we're going to place 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way to the bottom. Okay, you can pause your video here. Continue placing 1 half double crochet in each stitch until you make it to the very bottom of your row. Okay, we've made it to the last stitch, and I want to show you this one because the last stitch is very easy to forget. So make sure you look very closely, turn your work over so you can see. Let me zoom in for you. So you can see that extra V. Don't forget that stitch. So we'll put a half double crochet there. And that completes your row. Alright, we're going to repeat this sequence for an additional 11 rows. We'll chain 1, turn, and place 1 half double crochet in each stitch until you make it to the top marker, and we'll place 3 half double crochets in that stitch and place 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. And I'll meet you at the completion of your rows. To make this crop top a custom fit, just place the cup against yourself as you're working and add or decrease rows according to your size. Remember, this cup is worked sideways according to the pattern. Okay, we completed our additional rows, and this is what your cup should look like so far. So now we're going to turn our work to the side, and we're going to be working on the bottom side of your cup. I'm going to show you what we're going to be creating. See if I can zoom out a little bit. Alright, since our cup this is going to be turned on our side, this will be the top of our halter top, our crop top, and we're going to create this slant to go down into the strap that goes behind your back. So we'll form that next. Let me zoom back in. Right here, we're going to chain 1. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We're going to turn our work to the bottom side of your cup. We're going to place a half double crochet within that same space. If you can see, where we're going to put it in is the previous half double crochet, and the second one will be in this little hole right here. So first half double crochet, and the second half double crochet will be placed into the hole, that space between rows. There you go. Once again, we'll place a half double crochet in the previous row's half double crochet, and that little hole space here that connects the rows. Place a half double crochet in the space of the previous row's double crochet right here, followed by another half double crochet into this hole. If you can see, we're working a pattern. Continue placing half double crochets until you make it into the center marker. I'll meet you when you make it there. Okay, we made it back to the center of your cup, and from here I like to add an additional 4 more stitches. One, 2, 3, and 4. We have our half double crochets going around the side, all the way down the side. For my rows, I have a total of 18, but if your cup is a little bit bigger, you might have more rows, but the pattern will not be skewed by the number of stitches that you had. So next, we're going to chain 1, turn your work. This does not count as a stitch, so we're going to skip this very first stitch and place a half double crochet into the next. So yarn over, skip this stitch, half double crochet into the next, and we'll continue placing half double crochets all the way down the remainder of this row. So you can pause your video here, continue placing 1 half double crochet into each stitch, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, we made it to this end of the row, and we're going to chain 1, turn your work. We're going to place a half double crochet into the very same stitch, and a half double crochet into each stitch across. Okay, you can pause your video here. We're going to place 1 half double crochet in each stitch across, but we're going to stop at your very last 2 stitches. We're going to work those 2 together. I'll meet you there. Okay, we made it to those last 2 stitches, and we're going to half double crochet together. So yarn over, insert your hook into the loop, and this last stitch is always hard to see, so insert your hook into the loop and complete your half double crochet 2 together. Pull through, chain 1, and we're going to repeat the very first row. Turn your work. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We'll yarn over. We're going to skip this very first stitch right here and half double crochet into the next. And we're going to half double crochet in each stitch across. You can pause your video here and half double crochet all the way across, and I'll meet you at the very end. Okay, we made it back to the other side, and we're going to chain 1. Right now I'm just walking you through some repeats because we'll only be reducing on this one side here. So yarn over, half double crochet into the very same space, and we're going to half double crochet into each stitch across, and we're going to stop at the very last 2 stitches of this row. So I'm going to pause the video here, continue placing 1 half double crochet in each stitch across until you make it to the last 2, and I'm going to go answer my phone. Okay, we've made it back to our last 2 stitches, and we're going to half double crochet 2 together. Yarn over and pull through all your loops on the hook. Chain 1, turn your work. This is your last repeat. Yarn over. We're going to skip this very first stitch and half double crochet into the next. And we're going to half double crochet in each stitch all the way across. You can pause your video here and continue placing 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way to the end, and I'll meet you there. Okay, we made it to the end of the row, and next part is pretty easy. So chain 1. Your chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We're going to half double crochet into the very same stitch, and we're going to half double crochet in each stitch across. So you can pause your video here and place 1 half double crochet in each stitch across, and I'll meet you at the other end. Okay, we've made it back to the end of this row, and we're going to place a half double crochet into the very last stitch. We're going to repeat the same exact sequence for an additional 10 more rows, but if you're smaller or larger, I can teach you how to customize just for your size. Let me zoom back out. In order to do that, what you need to do is take a measuring tape and measure around the widest part of your rib cage. For myself, my rib cage is 32 inches. So you would take half of that plus a ½ inch. So half of 32 would be 16 plus a ½ inch. So 16½. That's how long I want my pattern. The length from the tip of my bra to the very end of my bralette to be. So let's say you measure 30 around. So you would be 15 plus a ½ inch, 15 and 15½. If you were 32, you would choose 16½, 34, 17½, 36, 18½. If you were 38 around, you would choose 19½. So I hope that part helps you a little bit. So continue crocheting this sequence until you reach the size that you need to be around, and I'll meet you there. Okay, once you complete all your rows, this is what your work will look like. And just go ahead and make 2 more of these. I've already made my 2, and what we're going to do now is connect our centerpieces. In order to do that, let me zoom in a little bit. Remember, find your top stitch here. We're going to go over 2 spaces, 2 stitches, and that's where we'll start connecting our work. We're going to combine 6 stitches together. So we'll do the same on this side. Sorry if I can get on film. We'll go 2 stitches over, 1, 2, and we'll remove our center pieces, get those out the way. And we're going to slip stitch to join both these ends together. So the first one, we got my yarn. I'm sorry, can you see you got the yarn? Pull through both sides and chain. That's to make sure it's secure. That's the first stitch. Go to the front, next one, front, go through the back, 2, go to the front, go to the back, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and you can fasten off your work. We'll move on to the very next step. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. Next, we're going to do a nice little half double crochet row across the top of your crop top. This would be the neck area. So let's zoom back in. Insert your hook into the very first stitch. That's at the very top. Let's connect our yarn. Chain 1. That does not count as a stitch. We're going to place 1/2 double crochet into the very same stitch and 1/2 double crochet into the next. Whoops, missed my 1/2 double crochet. Continue placing 1/2 double crochets all the way until you make it into the center of your crop top. Right here. I'll meet you here. Okay, we made it back to the center stitches where we combined the 2 cups together. So we're going to 1/2 double crochet together these next 2 stitches, where it's kind of pulled taut from combining the stitches. So let's combine. Those 2 stitches are combined, yarn over and pull through all of your loops. And now just continue placing a 1/2 double crochet in each stitch. Alright, you can pause your video here. Continue placing 1/2 double crochet in each stitch until you make it to the very end. I'll meet you there. Okay, we've completed that row. We've made a nice little 1/2 double crochet row all the way across. And for right here, what we're going to do, the next step, we're going to create the straps that go towards the collarbone. What we do on this side, we're going to repeat exactly on this side. But for this side, I won't have to cut my yarn and fasten off. So what we're going to do here is chain 1, turn your work. We are going to place 1/2 double crochet in the next 12 stitches. So 1/2 double crochet in the same one right here. And we're going to 1/2 double crochet in the next stitches. You can pause your video here. Continue placing 1/2 double crochets, 12 of them, and I'll meet you at the completion of your 12. Alright, we made it to the end, and we're going to chain 1, turn your work. And we're going to place 1/2 double crochet into the very same space. What we're going to do now is just repeat the same sequence that we did in the row before. We're going to place 1/2 double crochet in each stitch across all the way to the end for an additional 7 more rows. So 1/2 double crochet all the way across, chain 1, 1/2 double crochet all the way across. I'll meet you at the completion of those additional 7 rows. Alright, we completed those rows. So now you can fasten off your work. And we're going to repeat the same exact thing on the other side. But all you have to do is attach your yarn first. I'll attach the yarn with you. Alright, just like we did on the other side, half double crochet into the same space. And we're going to place we're going to place a total of 12 half double crochets all the way across. Then like before, chain 1, 12 half double crochets all the way across. Alright, we're going to do that for a total of 8 rows. So this one will be 1, and the rest will be, of course, 2 through 8. Alright, you can pause your video here, and I'll meet you at the completion of all your 8 rows. Okay, we finished our second strap, so we can fasten off our work. Now we'll be working on the very last section of our crop top. We'll be crocheting alongside the very bottom of your top. So this was the very top, and this is the bottom. So flip everything over. Since we're working on the bottom, it's going to be pretty hard to see where your stitches should go, so try to evenly space half double crochets all the way across this strap area. So let's connect our yarn. Chain 1, which does not count as a half double crochet. Half double crochet in the very same space. Like I said, evenly space your half double crochets all the way across your work. Can you see me? Alright, you can pause your video here. Continue placing half double crochets in each stitch all the way across the bottom until you make it to the other side. I'll meet you there. Okay, we completed placing half double crochets alongside the bottom of our crop top. And so what we do from here is just going to be a pattern repeat. We're going to half double crochet and turn your work. We're going to continue placing half double crochets until you achieve the length of the crop top that you want. I'm not exactly sure how long I want mine yet, but I'll let you know right above how many rows I put in, and I'll meet you at the completion of those half double crochet rows. Okay, I did an additional 15 rows, and once you make it to the end, you just fasten off your work. So next we are going to work on the very top. It's the very last part. What I did, I took about a chain of 100 or 150. You can choose the length that you want. I took that chain and threaded through a needle. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to weave it in between the stitches of the top straps of your work. Alright, do that. Just go in and out of each stitch. Like so. And pull. Go into your next strap and do the same. Go in and out of each stitch. And there you go. Just straighten out your ends, so your tops are not all bunched. And I'll show you what it looks like on and all complete. Great job, you're all done. Now all you have to do is add buttons. If you like this tutorial, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to see some more, look over to your right and click on other halter tops and even the matching barefoot sandals. So I'll see you all on the very next tutorial.